Mayuresh, let's do two things. First, let's look at your stock pick for today, as well as for the medium to long term. What do you think looks good fundamentally, and what do you think has corrected on the charts for you to probably make a nice punt on the long side with the checks and balances, maybe a SIP on a regular basis into a particular stock? Where do you find value in this kind of a market?
So as I mentioned, sir, I think domestic cyclicals are looking very strong and where the earnings might sustain. Within this, I think at key pivot levels of 2024, 2050, Astral Limited from the CPVC pipe segment probably looks very, very interesting. Two, three things. One, I think the entire perspective in terms of government ordering when it comes to Har Ghar Pe, I mean, Nal Nal Har Ghar Pe, and the other schemes related to that will ensure that substantial order flows keep on coming through for pipe companies. Astral is one of the leading CPC manufacturers in the country as we speak. They're also into adhesives, and they've recently forayed into faucetware and bath fittings as well. But their main business probably still remains the CPVC business. And here, I think the kind of expectations that the street probably has. They've delivered a very good number as far as Q1 is concerned, specifically in terms of the pipe margins. So the pipe margins in particular were at 18%. The revenues had a little bit of a deacceleration in terms of expectations, primarily because of polymer prices going down. But input prices have also gone down significantly. And their own expectations in terms of volume growth, the industry might grow at 9 to 10%. They are expecting Astral to probably grow this year at 16-17% and next year in excess of 25 odd percent. The optimism shelter also comes in from the fact that initially in the last con call, that is Q4, they had planned a couple of plants to probably come up. But even in this tough macro conditions, their expectation now stands to put in 3 units, which will come in Guwahati, Hyderabad, where the first and second phases should probably start coming through by FY25. And therefore, the excessive volume growth that you probably see in FY25 will come through. When you're probably talking about the new elements, the faucetware and the plumbing, the faucetware and the bath fitting segment itself, which is sanitary ware, you're probably expected to see numbers in Q3, Q4 turn a bit positive, which is a huge, huge positive because then the consolidated numbers, which stand in terms of margins at 16% and grow at 18, 19 odd percent. They've got sufficient cash on books at 465 odd crores, a huge dealer and distribution network, which is extremely essential for the business, and more than 500 showrooms in terms of physical presence as well. So our sense is that even if valuation is a little bit on the higher side compared to long period averages, I think this conditional buy or keeping this stock on your buy watch list, if it crosses that pivot level, will make absolute sense for medium to long term.
Right. We've already discussed Astral as far as the fundamentals are concerned. Mayuresh, let me play the devil's advocate. Now, there are two or three things I noticed. One, the stock is at a record high, and it's been a very, very rewarding stock when you look at. I'm seeing the chart since September of 2023. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stock splits. The stock has at the same time moved from 52 rupees to what it is at 1991. You've mentioned all that is positive in the stock, but something that our people and our investors and potential buyers need to keep in mind is that it's at a very high price earnings. Trailing TTM on PE is about 109. That's very, very steep, and it's probably the most expensive stock in the pipe space. The price to book is about 19 times. So those are the things that you need to keep in mind. But as they say, Mayuresh, in India, अच्छी चीज़ कभी भी सस्ती नहीं मिलती बाजार में, और probably Astral fits into this completely. Low debt company, just 77 crores. What can you do? You will have to sort of pay attention to what the bhav is. There's another wonderful saying that Mayuresh will confirm, bhav bhagwan che in bazaar. So what can we do? Quality in the markets is pretty expensive, and Mayuresh is really keen to sort of ride this record high on Astral. Let's see how it moves. If you see the daily chart, what's really interesting here, Mayuresh, is that it's in a sideways band for a while,
Yeah.
and it's about to sort of maybe explode on the higher side. You wanted to add something, Mayuresh?
No, you're absolutely right. So I think two aspects. जैसे आपने rightfully कहा, I think everybody waits for better prices and bad markets. And good markets and good prices, I think everybody is probably attracted to that. In this case, I think it has survived both bad and good markets and still survived. So our sense and optimism runs from the fact that the management itself is very buoyant in terms of their commentary. And irrespective of how we are placed at this juncture, they're actually announcing 3 plants instead of 2, where they're saying that they've got so much of orders in hand. The demand is so robust. And as prices come back very, very strongly, they are very, very confident of maintaining their margins. So I think it's an entire volume stroke operating leverage play, which then gets played out on the bottom line very beautifully. And as you pointed out, I think the net cash obviously assists because there is very little payouts in a high interest rate scenario, even if it persists for a long, long time. So I think it's is the question that they have having premium multiples, but whether these multiples can compound even further based on earnings growth can be a strong possibility for business.
Right. So this is Astral Limited for you. Pay attention to the price and try and add this via SIPs. This is what Mayuresh's view is. Also consult another financial advisor if you want to step into Astral.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.